Hey guys, my name is Club Kev Yemba and welcome to the very first video and tech review of the Club Kev Yemba YouTube channel. So the first thing I'd like to do is give a big shout out and a big thank you to our friends over at SADES Gaming for sponsoring this video. They do a lot of things like gaming, furniture, accessories, peripherals, and they've been so generous as to send myself and some of my friends over at Rebel Esports a couple different headsets to check out for you guys watching at home. All right, so the first thing we're going to start off with is the unboxing. Because I don't have a DSLR camera, I am using my Logitech C920 to film this or record this, I guess. So what I did was I went ahead and took everything out of the box and spread it out in front of me. I'm going to show you one by one what comes in the box, so that way, you can get an idea of what you're going to get. But to begin with, we're going to start with this. This is the box, pretty average for, a headset. The next thing you're going to get is obviously you're going to get your literature and you're going to get your stickers. So these are pretty cool stickers. Our emblem is a lion, so I don't know if any of you actually use stickers. I don't, but you can put these wherever you want to. The next thing you're gonna get in the box is a pair of extra ear cups. These are what came on the headset. I switched them out for the faux leather ones that come inside the box. These are still really comfortable. I just like the leather ones a little bit better, so you can interchange these as you like, mix and match, I guess, if you want to. I don't know why you would do that, but the choice is up to you. All right, and then the next thing, and actually the last thing, well, besides the headset, the last thing you're gonna get is this. And what this is it's a pretty much a mic and audio jack splitter for the PC if you have one. You don't have to use this if you don't want to, but I do because my PC is way over here, so I like having the extra length. Yeah, so this is what you're gonna get. Really helpful. If you have a PC and you want to plug in the different jacks for your mic and your audio. So that is going to be the last thing you're going to get in the box before you get to these bad boys. So these are the SADES MPOWER headsets. Really nice. I'm going to get into my own personal experiences a little bit later. I'll include the timestamp for that down below, but we're going to talk about what you're going to see in the description on Amazon and stuff like that for these headsets. But just at a first glance, you're going to see a nice really blue stainless steel, and that's going to be the frame. Obviously, you got the ear cups, and the headband is very flexible. All right, so like I said before, the first thing that we're going to get into before we talk about like my personal experience using these headsets is going to be the sort of specs that you're going to see on the Amazon website or their website, and they boast a lot of interesting details, and most of them I found to be pretty accurate. But let's just go through those, and you guys can see how they differ between what I talk about versus what they talk about. So to start off with, the MPOWER is multi-platform, so you can use them on things like your iPhone, well, your phone. If you have your adapter for your iPhone, you can use them on your iPhone. I use them on my laptop, I use them on my PC, on my Xbox. Didn't have any issues using them on anything. So in terms of like sound specs, SADES boasts a 50 millimeter speakers in either ear cup, or in both ear cups, I should say. And what that does is it delivers some pretty clear and crisp sound quality. Now, along with the great sound quality, you're also gonna get a really nice retractable mic, and I will show you that right now. So this is what it's kind of like. So it's kind of gonna look like. So you can just push it back in and forth, or back and forth basically. So it's really cool. When you're done using it, just all you gotta do is slide it back in. So that's really nice. That kind of helps if you want to take these out with you. You don't have a huge mic hanging down the side of your mouth. That's what you're gonna see on in terms of sound quality, or sound specs, I should say. That's what you're gonna see on the Amazon sort of description. In terms of comfortability, the headsets themselves are actually really lightweight. The headband is also very flexible, so when you put them on, you're not going to have any issues with pressure points or anything. You're not going to feel you're not going to feel any fatigue really, and that comes with ups and downs, but we'll get into that in a second. You're not going to have any issues using these for several hours of gaming. Now, along with the right angle jack, you're going to find your inline mic and audio controls. The volume is controlled by a not a slider but a wheel, and then you'll have a mic mute switch, so you just switch it up and down to get it to mute. So in addition to all of that, if you do have any problems with the headset, if you decide to buy it, you'll have about a year and a half to get in contact with them, and they'll help you sort anything out. So moving on to my personal experience, I've used the headset exclusively now for about a week, maybe a little bit longer. And like I said before, I've used it on my Xbox, my PC, my laptop, not my phone because I have an iPhone, but basically anything that had a 3.5 millimeter jack, I tried it out, and I gotta say that I was actually really pleasant. I was really pleasantly surprised with the quality of the headset, the quality of the sound, considering the price point here. Speaking from personal experience, the sound quality was really good. I didn't have any issues hearing any footsteps, no issues with gauging distance of like gunshots or gunfights around me. The sound, I mean, the volume does get really loud. So if you're playing games like Warzone or Modern Warfare, I would suggest, you know, lowering the volume on the mic a little bit, but you're not gonna have any issues hearing anything. So now that I've talked about my personal experiences, I'd like to just talk about some of the improvements I like to see in a headset. I think everything always has some room for improvement, and these might be just me nitpicking. These things might not bother you at all, but I figured I'd just share my thoughts with you guys, and before you buy, just so you know what you're getting into. Okay, so getting into the improvements, I think it's still really important to, again, just drive home the fact that these are $40 headsets. You're not getting Steel Series or Arctis level performance from these headsets. Here are the things that I think would look or would make the next version of these headsets really good. So I'd like to see more of a snug fit. Let me get these for you. Like I said before, the headband is flexible, which is good, but that also keeps the headset from sort of feeling like they're on your head. This may not bother a lot of you, may not bother any of you. It may bother every single one of you, who knows. For me personally, I kind of like feeling that my headset is like on my head, not so much to the point where it's like, you know, trying to squeeze my brain out of my nose, but to the point where I know that they're on there, and if I, you know, if I'm shaking it all, if I'm shaking, you know, up and down, it's not going to come off. Now, that wasn't really a problem with these headsets, but me personally, I like it's just that feeling of stability and security while it's on my head. And it might actually be a bigger problem for those of you who may have a smaller profile for a head. You know, your noggin may not be wide enough and it may feel really loose. You may be able to fix that just by tightening up or, like, you know, extending the ear cups or, you know, shortening up the ear cups. All of that being said, again, not a deal breaker. Doesn't, you know, affect the performance or the quality of the headset. It's just something that I'd like to see improved on in the next version. So the next thing that I think would look really or would make the next version of these headsets really good is a stiffer sort of mic stem. So what I mean by a stiffer mic stem or a stiffer mic arm, I don't know what you call it, I call it a stem in this case, is just, it doesn't feel very stable in the sense that if you've ever used a flexible mic arm on a headset, you know that generally they're a little stiffer, so that way when you bend them, they tend to stay in place. That's not really the case with this. While the mic quality is really good, just based on my friends telling me that I sound really good talking to them, I like being able to you know, move it away from my mouth if I have to, move it in closer if I have to. That's kind of difficult with this because it doesn't really keep the form once you bend it in place. And so that's one thing that you need to be aware of. If that's something that, you know, you like in a headset, you're not going to find that here. All right. So the next thing this is, I think, one of the last things that I like to see improved on this headset is how you change the ear cups. They didn't really explain that in the literature. At least I didn't see that. I looked. And when I first tried, I honestly thought that it was like attached to like this plastic, you know, piece that you could just pop off, put the new ear cup on, and then pop it back in. That's not the case. How this works is you twist it off, and when you take it off, you'll notice that there's a plastic. Actually, hold on, let me see if right here. I don't know if you guys see this line right here. That's like a slit. So basically, the way it works is you would feed it into the slit, and then you would spin it around, and as you turn it, the glossy little edge right there would pretty much feed into the space between this plastic bit and then the frame. So it's kind of complicated. Once you get used to it, it's really not, but you know, I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of how to do that, because I didn't see that in the literature, and I don't know if they meant to include that in there or not, but now you know. It's not as difficult as I made it sound. It's just because it's dark in here, I couldn't really do it because of shadows and everything. But just so you know, that's how that works. So the next thing that I want to talk about is going to be the volume wheel. And let me unplug this from my PC really quick. This is going to be, your inline volume control and your mic control. You've got your mic switch on the very front. See if I can put it's right there, that black thing right there. That's your switch. You switch up and down. Down is to mute, up is to unmute. But then the volume wheel is on the side. Now, when I say stiffer, I mean that this volume wheel is really sensitive. So if this thing bumps up against your shirt, it can change the volume pretty easily, and that can get kind of irritating. I don't know how you would fix that. Maybe just a tighter mechanism inside, but I think that would be a really, really big improvement, even if it's just a small sort of like nitpicky thing for me. And maybe clipping it to your shirt might help a little bit. I don't know. All I know is that if this thing was a little bit stiffer, it would be a lot better, because I know when I move my head up and down and stuff like that, this thing drags up against my shirt, and then it changes the volume, and I gotta rechange it and everything. So that's pretty much it for all the stuff that I would like to see improved. $40, you're not breaking the bank, you're not burning a hole in your wallet, you're also not investing in a premium headset. This will do the job. If especially in a time right now when people are out of work, they don't have a lot of money to begin with. You've got a birthday coming up for a niece, nephew, daughter, son, whatever, maybe a grandkid. You just want something. You want to give them something. They're big gamers. You want to give them something for their birthday. $40. These work really, really well, and I was really pleased with the quality of the headset all around. Those are the main things I'd see improved. My personal experience was really great. I do 100% recommend buying these headsets, or buying this headset, I should say, especially if you're just looking for something to either tie you over while your Arctis 9s are in the shop, or maybe you're just shopping around trying to find some new audio stuff to use. Guys, if you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the little notification bell icon to know when I post next. I've got some other ideas for content coming up, especially for all of you new streamers who want to use the time at home right now as a way to just start investing time into a hobby that you really love. That being said, my name is Club Kev Yumba. I was your host today. Welcome to the club.